Guys, I absolutely love this team for the event dungeon. Let's kill the Queen of Hearts. Now, this team is not for everybody, but stay till the end and I have options for you for all of these positions, including epic options to make it more accessible. So let's get to it. This is the really OP team, and we'll just click auto. So you'll see we have Kalvalax, Teodor, Elenarl, and Dreng. So it starts off with the Kalvalaxes placing poisons out on the champions. They'll do AoE before the round starts, so they don't need any speed. So that's why they're so good for this. You don't need to build any speed in them. All you need to build is accuracy. They don't need any damage or crit rate or HP or anything. You just need them for that first part. They'll place those poisons. Then we have Dreng come next. He'll place HP burn out on everybody, and Dreng is really good. Again, because you can neglect the stat that everybody else has to have, accuracy. His HP burn is irresistible, so you can focus on all your other stats, build them up, survivable. And you'll see there he's regenning, and he's also healing up my next champion, who is Elenarl. Now, Elenarl, actually, we'll go to Teo first. So Teo is a poison and HP burn activator. Teo's able to come along, activate all of those on everybody. That'll take a big chunk from the boss and a big chunk from all of the enemies as well. So we'll see the poisons going out. We'll see Dreng burning. We'll see Teo activating there and a big chunk gone. And then Elenarl also does not need any accuracy at all, and Elenarl explodes all the poisons, kills everybody, and then sticks around for a while to help Dreng out with the HP burns. She only uses her A3 once, then just uses her A1, because on her A1 she has an irresistible HP burn. So that's going to help me take down the boss even faster. Now, she won't necessarily survive the whole time, but that's okay. We don't need her to. Dreng is our man with a mission on this. We will, after this round, we're going to go in, we're going to look at all the stats for these. Remember, this is dungeon 30 of the event dungeon, so it's not for the faint of heart. The stats do have to be high, so wherever you can get them, from blessings, from your great hall, from your gear obviously, and whatever masteries and faction guardians you have, they're really going to help you out, because it is I have the stages tool open on hellhades.com here, and the stats are huge. The stats are really big, and the main thing is speed. So for the guys that need to go before Kaja, your speed has to be nearly at 300 and over 300 with your aura included. There we go. So 1 minute 35 for a poison and HP burn explosion team. It's exceptionally good. Like I say, I have alternates for every single position here, every single one. Okay, so let's go through it after we look at the stats for these guys. All right, the stats will remain pretty much the same. We'll have to build different champs differently, obviously. Now, we have our walking tomb Dreng in regen, which I love for him. He's my ice golem farmer, so this is his build anyway. Although he did used to be in maybe Defiant or Immortal as well, but he's getting the extra speed and resistance here from protection. That's what he's getting from the protection set here. If we look, we can see resistance, HP, speed. This doesn't do anything for him, and then more speed as well. So that's what he's getting there, along with the regen gear. Looking at his speed, it's exactly at 300, right? So that's perfect. Kaja the Rai is the fastest champion on the enemy team, and she's at 300, and the first thing she does is place block debuffs and speed boost the entire enemy team. So you have to be faster than that, and with the aura we are. So that's Dreng, and those are his masteries. He's down to resistance, he's down to lore of steel, and this also gives him some turn meter every time a debuff that he places wears off, so he's getting turn meter boost and all that. So all the health, resistance, and anything to keep you alive is what we want there. Teo doesn't even have masteries built out, but he is in basically enough to get him to the right speed with the right accuracy. So we want him to go after Dreng, because he activates the HP burn, and the speed is 298, so he's 2 slower than Drang, and he has the accuracy to activate everything and to place his own debuffs then afterward. That's him. Now, I told you there'd be alternates. Alternates for Teo, we're going to go through them one by one when we're going through them. The alternates for Teo are Stock the Broken. There we go. Stock is incredibly good. He brings the speed in all battles. He also attacks all enemies, places 2 poisons on enemies for 2 turns, and if the targets are under an HP burn, places 3 poisons and a weaken instead, and also gives your team a continuous heal. On the A2, attacks all enemies 2 times. The first hit instantly activates all poison and HP burn debuffs on all enemies and all continuous heal buffs on all allies. So the second hit has a 75% of destroying each target's max HP by 3% of each poison and HP burn, and stacks up to 60%, and then fills the turn meter of all allies. So he's actually, for this, better than Teodor, I would say, because on the A1 then as well, each hit has a 25% chance of increasing the duration of all poison and HP burn debuffs on the target. So that's going to give us more uptime. The only reason I haven't used him is because he's still in storage. I haven't pulled him from the fusion yet, and he also has this passive here. The damage inflicted by poison and HP burn will ignore block damage and unkillable buffs. Whenever an ally attacks enemies with destroyed max HP, increases the damage dealt by 10%. It's going to help us kill everything quicker. So that's Stock the Broken as an alternative to Teodor. You could also use a HP burn activator. So you have Artak in the Orcs, who was also a free champion. So anybody that activates HP burn you can use. You could use Sissia Flametongue from the Demon Spawn. HP burn activation with a decreased defense and weaken, her own HP burn and HP burn extension as well. So incredibly good. And I think that's it really for that position. Then our next champion on the list, Kalvalax. So Kalvalax, as I said, you do not need any single stat all the way down here apart from accuracy. Forget about every single other stat with Kalvalax. All you want is accuracy, okay? So I have no books at all. His passive does not need any books, okay? No books on the other one. You can see there he does have the Lethal Dose Blessing, but it's not important, not needed at all. And we just have them built up for the accuracy. That is it. So we'll see. I have this guy at 554 and we have this guy at 494. And that probably needs to be just a touch higher. I'd like it over 515 seems to be what the site is telling us. So I could probably roll that up a bit and that would help, you would think. So those are the 2 Kalvalax. You're going to say nobody can do what Kalvalax does. Dahi, you are crazy. Not so. Well, maybe I am crazy, but that's why we like it here. We have the options of epics. So we have 2 epics. Now, the only thing with the epics is you will need speed on them as well as the accuracy, okay? So they will have to go first. They'll have to go, not necessarily first, but they will have to go before either your poison or your poison and HP burn activator or exploder, okay? So the poisons have to be out there. They can be used because of this A3. They need 3 epic tomes, 3 epic books, and the reason is this champion receives damage equal to 99% of their current HP of his own, places an unkillable buff on himself for 2 turns, and then has an 80% chance of placing 5% poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns. And with 3 books, actually I told a lie, he only needs 2 books. We don't need the cooldown, we don't care about that. We only need him to take 1 turn. That gets him to 100% chance of placing it, and that's it. Just the speed and the accuracy. No HP, defense, crit rate, crit damage, resistance, or anything else. And then finally we have Elenarl. So Elenarl plays the job of Poison Exploder, so AoE Poison Exploder, and the reason I chose her is, again, she doesn't need any accuracy to do that job. So all we need is speed, realistically, because you have your Drang built well to solo the champion, or whoever that solo champion is. Doesn't matter if all of the other 4 die, it's that one champion that's going to solo. So pour all your stats into that one champion that's going to solo, and the rest just the bare minimum. That is my motto with all of the all farming teams should be the minimum that you can get away with. So with Elenarl, that's 287 speed. Now I have her built in regen as well, no masteries at all, no books at all, no relics. I suppose we better start including relics. And yeah, 287 speed, that's all she needs, is to get that one turn, explode those poisons, kill all of those enemies, and you're good to go. Now I do have her built in regen to survive a bit longer, and I have her with okay HP and great defense. The reason I want her to stay around a bit longer is so she can use her A1 and keep on placing HP burn, but I don't need that, okay? That's just a good to have. So Dreng is going to do all the work. This just helps him out, and that's all I wanted around for. I don't need her. She can die and it'll be perfectly fine, but just take a little bit longer. So that's it, guys. That is all of the options. Giving you one for Dreng. Realistically, any HP burner can do it. He's probably just the easiest to do it with. He doesn't have healing on his own, but the fact that he's a HP champion and has HP burn makes him very tanky. His healing comes from the regen set, not from anything he does himself. But let's have a quick look. It's not a buff I want, it's debuffs I want. So AoE HP burn. The other good thing is that he has an irresistible HP burn as well, so that makes a big difference, guys. You do want to have that there. So our options for HP burners are many and varied, really, but you want somebody with some survivability. So Stock the Broken could be a good nomination there because of his continuous heals. He's very survivable. You also have Tila, who places AoE HP burn and continuous heal, also places Leech and Hex. So if you have her built with War Master instead of down this, she could be a good shout. And mine has Brimstone, so that'd help too. This here, stealing buffs as well, not too important, but if you did get in a fix, you could use it. So Tila's a good option. Frenzy could be used as, no, Frenzy would be unreliable because her placement is random. So you don't want 3 times at random, it has to be full AoE, otherwise she would have been great actually. We do have Sissia, who we spoke about already, so AoE HP burn and AoE activation and HP burn extension, so she'd be a great shout. And the reason I don't use her is her natural HP is very low, so to make her that survivable is a bit tougher. Now we can't use Dreng. If you could get the boss down to no health, or get all to just the boss one-on-one, Dreng would not be a bad shout. You can build him very tanky and with the accuracy to place HP burn, and he'd do his job. You could actually even build him quite slow and let the boss HP burn itself, but you'd have to have him very tanky for that to survive being slow without any sort of regen, okay? We then also have Skrank, if you're lucky enough to have Skrank. Good damage dealer and AoE HP burner, but again, you'd need something like either Lifesteal, Bloodthirst, or Regen and Immortal, because his HP is very low, so to build him with the survivability would be tough. Geo is good, but not AoE. This guy would be a good AoE option, and he is a defense-based champion. Now, if we look at his Pyretic release, attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of all skills by 2 turns on enemies under HP burn. Also places a shield buff equal to 20% of this champion's max HP on all allies. So survivability, attacks all enemies, 20% chance of placing a HP burn for 2 turns. The chance of placing the debuff increases by 20% for each enemy alive. So on the initial phase, if he's not going to be your solo champion, you can use him. Okay, so say you were using a Stock as your farming champion, as your solo champion, you can use Akot as the HP burn placer to place all of them out, because he will have a 100% chance. He's also survivable, being a defense-based champion. And then on the A1, 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased crit rate debuff for 2 turns, which is actually beneficial in some places. Michinaki, not a good shout. He only has it on the A1, so it's not the best. And then Artak being the best other option. We do have Chumesia, who would be good in Lifesteal, Bloodthirst, or Big Regen, and actually she would be really good because of the stun she brings on the same move and the turn meter control and big hits. But again, her HP, base HP is only 16,000, so you need a lot of stat investment to make her really viable. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's all of the options for this composition and the places that they fit into. Did I forget one? Did I forget to mention Xavia? I love Xavia because she doesn't have HP burn, but she is awesome. So in the poison explosion or activation space, she is also incredibly good, and you can use her because of this move here. Attacks all enemies. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Deals damage from all poison debuffs on the enemy target instantly. Poison debuffs will only deal half the standard damage when it's used against bosses. So she's not going to be your farmer, but she can be your poison exploder. So that's all of the places filled, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think of any other options, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.